Well, John Whittingdale, former Culture Secretary, knew Sir David well and joins us now. You must have been as shocked as everyone when you heard this news just after lunchtime.
Utterly appalled. I mean, I've known David as a friend for 40 years and as a parliamentary colleague in Essex for 30. He was a lovely person. He was hugely caring, particularly about his constituency, and very well liked right across Parliament. And this has shocked, I think, the whole of Westminster. He was a brilliant MP, and his loss will be massively felt by his constituents in Southend and right across Westminster. And of course, we think about his family at this time.
We do indeed. We think of his wife and his 5 children. He was someone who cared passionately, wasn't he, about so many different causes. Tell us about some of them.
Well, I mean, he was a great champion for many different causes. He was passionate about animal welfare. He was a very Christian man and held very strong beliefs, but he also took up a wide variety of different issues. And I suspect quite often they were ones which had been brought to him by his constituents in their surgeries. So, he passed legislation around warm homes and people suffering from fuel poverty. He championed the cause of more help for women suffering from endometriosis. So a wide variety of causes. He was a great supporter of Brexit. He was a huge fan of Margaret Thatcher, which is how I first met him, nearly 40 years ago. But at the end of the day, it was his constituents who mattered most to him. And it almost became a joke that every time he asked a question in Parliament, whatever the issue really, he'd always finish it off by adding the plea that, Southend should become a city. And that was indicative of actually his commitment to the people he represented in Southend.
Tell me about the importance of constituency surgeries. You've been an MP for a long time. It is a vital part of our democracy, isn't it? It's almost a cornerstone of our democracy, that right for the electorate to be able to go and see their MP face to face.
It is absolutely a central part of the British political system. Every member of Parliament represents a community, a constituency. And I mean, years ago, I worked for Margaret Thatcher before I entered Parliament, and she used to go and hold constituency surgeries in her constituency in Finchley. And every MP is kept in touch with the issues that matter to the people they represent, and they hear firsthand how those people are affected by the decisions that we are debating in Westminster. And so, when we talk about the health service or education, it is the fact that we are meeting people who are waiting for hospital treatment or, fighting to get the right choice of school. That affects and influences our views. And I think it is one of the great strengths of the British system. And surgeries, it's the direct face-to-face contact is crucial to that. And so obviously there will be lessons to be learned. The Speaker is talking about a review of security for MPs, and that's obviously sensible. But the link, the accessibility, the fact that any constituent can make an appointment and just go and talk to their MP about anything they feel particularly strongly about, I think is a real strength of our system. And we mustn't lose that.
And of course, this comes 5 years after the tragic death of Jo Cox. And of course, there was a review then, wasn't there? But I suppose the problem is that it's very difficult to change a great deal because no one wants a situation where a constituent has to speak to their MP through plastic glass or carry on those conversations online only or have a big security detail outside the surgery. I mean, in reality, what can change if we want to keep this tradition?
Well, I think it's too soon to reach any conclusions. Obviously, the Speaker, the Police, the Home Secretary will all be looking at this. But, the surgeries are the time when MPs we advertise that we're going to be in a particular spot at a particular time and people can come and see us. But, if somebody wants to harm an MP, there will be other ways of doing so. So, I mean, we need to listen to the advice from those who are protecting us. We need to take precautions, but we can't shut ourselves away. Being an MP means being accessible to the people who we are elected to represent, and that is something which cannot change.
OK, John Whittingdale, I know you were very close to Sir David. You have our condolences this evening, but thank you for taking the time to pay tribute to him. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
You're watching Sky News tonight. Do stay with us. Coming up after the break, we'll have all the very latest from here in Leigh-on-Sea, including we'll hear from the late Joe Cox's sister, Kim Leadbeater, who spoke to Sky News a bit earlier.